Is it summer, guys? What's going on, moviegoers all over the world? My name is Ryan D. You can call me Ryan680.
Mangela, that cat lady, and
this is Alamo City Movie Talk. Movie Talk for movie fans, guys, where we bring everything movie related right to your devices, any device out there. And thank you for making us a part of your day, by the way, guys. Let's get right to it, Angela. This is A24's most anticipated movie of the summer, Midsommar. Man, all right. So first off, let's go to give a background story of this. Of course, this is the director, written by, and how do you pronounce his name, Angela? Because I'm really bad at names.
Oh, I'm terrible at names too.
Yeah, his name's Ari Aster, and I'm probably pronouncing it very wrong. If I am, I do apologize. Ari Aster, yeah, Ari Aster, and man, I mean, right off the bat from Hereditary, he's also done a lot of good short horror movies as well, a lot of short movies, and just to come off the bat after Hereditary, I know you haven't seen Hereditary, but I have, and it's a religious experience, and I could talk about it over and over again about Hereditary, but this is Midsommar review, so let's get right to it. I would say this is another religious experience. I mean,
it definitely had a lot of
symbolic
religious symbolism.
Yeah. I mean, right
spiritualism.
Right off the bat, ladies and gentlemen, we do get an artwork, a piece of art, and just to see have a sense of how this movie's gonna go, you get it right off the bat when the movie starts. And before you see any scenes or anything, it's an art piece, and it just almost gives you the vibe that you're gonna get going into this movie. I'm just like, what the heck? Like,
there was definitely a lot of little things with hidden messages for me. Yeah. What I found most interesting was one of the characters is doing like an anthropological aspect of it, and I used to study, or at one point wanted to major in anthropology, cultural anthropology, so I could appreciate it. And I think a lot of that, you get a sense of the culture that this community is. This festival, it's centered around a festival, and it's very religious, very spiritual, and I really liked the aspects. We're figuring out what this means, what happens, what unfolds.
Yeah, we're not mentioning any spoilers, by the way. So if you just letting you know, guys, we're not gonna mention any spoilers. It's just to give our take of the movie as well. So I would say this though, the soundtrack was wow, like another good soundtrack again. I will say this, just the motions of it. Like we always talk about this a lot of movies. You know, there's a lot of good scenes in movies, but the music needs to be there, and the music was there. It was on point. Whenever something would go wrong or something would get a little intense, you would feel that momentum from the music. And it's not like a jump scare one. It's just I don't know how to explain it. It's just like Hereditary. Like, it's just a neutral sound. You forget. Like, it just doesn't feel like a scary movie, but it's just a calm before the storm kind of feel.
Well, for me, it kind of like the community itself that we discover in this film is very how do you say, Sweden. Very rustic, you know, they kind of live off the land, and there's points where they play their own music, so I feel like the soundtrack kind of felt like something that they could play. Yeah, exactly. Very natural, raw, and it just had that little bit of edge of creepy in those little moments.
Almost to a sense, I mean, the best example I could probably give is like a retreat, and you go there, and it's a very increasingly violent nightmare, I guess you could say, in a sense. And just going into, I mean, we're not going to mention anything, like I said already, no spoilers. I would say this, it's very strong dialogue. It's strong, smooth dialogue that I don't feel it's forced whatsoever by any of the actors or actresses.
Feels very natural.
Yes, it feels so natural, like it's just normal talking, and it doesn't feel like it's forced. It doesn't feel like the horror's forced. The character development, I mean, I would say like it's just spot on. Like every single person goes through something in this, and it really develops them. It takes a toll on them, and I love that because it shows us how would you react like this? Would you react in Ari Aster's world? How would you react to this? Like, it just almost to a sense to where, like, I mean, I'm gonna be thinking in my head right now. I'm still thinking in my head like, Ari Aster, like, what was his childhood like? Like, dang, like, wow, what did this guy go through? And to see this again, like, just to hold, like I said already, it's not as intense as Hereditary. I know you haven't seen Hereditary, but it's not as intense. But I mean, it's almost on the same level in a sense. And I would say this too. I really did love the camera direction of this movie.
Oh yeah.
And like always give a lot of nods to James Wan for doing, just the camera angles, because the way he does The Conjuring. This one's camera direction, like it's just the way he's directing it, like the scenes that he does it from above, just from like, I love that so much, because I love how the camera really he really gets the whole room in the camera. Like
well, it's like it's every scene, the way the camera is set up has a purpose.
Yeah.
So like even those weird camera positions and angles, they had a purpose. Yeah. And I feel like I can appreciate that in the overall message of the film.
Oh yeah, agreed there. And it just it's, when it comes down to it, so this was a festival that's done every 90 years, guys, and to see it every night, to see it just happen. I guess the last 90, since it's 90 years, I'm just like, what the heck? Like, it's just, you're already going into this world, into this person's nightmare, and it's just like, it's a very, I guess, it's a very trippy feel, and it's just like, you're like, is that really happening? Did that really go on? Like, is this really happening? Like, it makes you question yourself.
There's definitely a mixture of like a psychological thriller, because you said it makes you question yourself. You kind of question what's going on, and then you see these events unfold, and it kind of makes you question the community itself.
And it's a very cult and ceremonial rituals a lot of rituals that they do here. And I would say this too as well. It's a unique setting created. The set alone, the set where it's at, it's really good. You can tell they really did their hard work into this, and just to see how this, this world and this retreat was. It's really like they really did hardcore as far as the setting and everything, because the houses, everything was unique. We've never seen anything like this before.
And it's something so simple, because the community itself is supposed to be simple. They're supposed to live off the land, be this tight-knit community. Everything has a purpose. Everything's recycled. Yeah. So everything is so simple, but like you said, it's so unique. Like you just don't see like the buildings,
even
like
the way the buildings is like bigger, and then it just it's all unique. I will say this too as well. It's very sequenced, and when I mean sequenced, I mean the actors and the cinema. I guess I don't know, you call it cinematography. The motion of them, of each individual, of each cult follower, it's so sequenced that it's just like spot on. Like
it makes you feel like, in the grand scheme of things, is this how it was supposed to happen? Exactly.
Yes, I will say that the rituals are intense. Like I said, it just I love the camera direction of it, and just to see this also, I would say this as well. Like it just, there's a new thing in here that's kind of got me a little tripped out. Instead of clapping hands, they
again, there's those little nuances of this community. They have like, of course, they speak Swedish. Swedish. They speak Swedish.
English, some English too.
They're bilingual.
Yeah.
But they have like their own like alphabet part of the rituals. Yes. They have their own nuances in the rituals. Their hand motions, their dancing, music. They have their certain
almost
cultural.
Their own language.
Like they have their own culture, and it's so radically different than what I've ever seen in a film.
A24 knows how to make these great dialogue movies, these great indie movies, and it really does. It just breaks the boundaries of what horror movies cannot do with the major studio. And not to say that A24 is not a major studio. Oh yeah, it is. But it breaks the boundaries of one of those other, one of those movies, or just anything in general. Just like it always has limits. Horror movies always have limits. A24, you don't know what you're going for. You're just gonna go see this movie, and it could take you to a whole devil place, and it just that's what you're going into, and it's very indie like, and I love the motion. I love A24. I love that studio, because they always break the boundaries, no matter what. Last year Slice, last year Hereditary, they really break the boundaries when it comes to A24.
Well, a lot of it that I really appreciate was that it's not in your face horror.
Yeah,
it's not
of course.
Like the cookie cutter
horror
because
sequence. That's cheap horror. Like that's really cheap. That's overdone, and I'm pretty sure the filmmaker, he knows that too. And to become a great filmmaker nowadays is, it's dialogue, it's everything. This guy really knows what he's doing when it comes to horror. Same thing I think about James Wan. He knows what he's doing when it comes to horror, and I love it, everything. And I love this guy doing for what he does, and he's making great movies, man. That's what it's all about.
Like I said, it's not in your face. It's the subtle things, I think, that make the difference, because you have all these little things that are happening throughout the entire film. That in itself is the horror. You have all these
jump scares,
not so much that you have all of these things happening in the background, and really the community's not knowing about. Like I know this community knows what's going on. They so participate calm. In the violence, the horror.
It's normal.
And it's normal. And I think that in itself is what makes this so creepy and so really like disturbing.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, this movie actually comes out at 2 hours and 20 minutes. You know, it felt kind of long. I was just like, when we were watching it, we saw the draft house, and I was just like, wow, it's pretty long. It's a pretty long movie. And I was just, you know, I mean, not to say it was dragging. No, it wasn't dragging. It's just a long movie. Like, I don't know how to, it went by so quick. But like, it was just a long. It was a long movie because I had to go pee. That was really the truth. I was all like, gosh, is it the scene? Is it the last scene yet? So what do you feel like they needed out of all this? Out of giving out our positive vibes of this movie, what do you feel like they needed in this?
As much as I liked the cryptic messages, I feel like there's a lot of symbolism that has just a deeper meaning. I really wish it may not have been so open to interpretation, maybe a little more solid. Yeah. But that's just me. Maybe I just don't get it.
No, yeah. No, hey, I hear you there. Yeah. I mean, maybe we'll hear a sense from the actual director and the writer. I'm pretty sure he's got interviewed on this.
And I can appreciate it, leaving an open-ended ending and open-ended message. Because it really, I think, it could vary. Your takeaway from this film could vary a lot.
And that's good though, because I like it like that, because that way everyone can give their own perspective of the film. And I love that moviegoers out there, put on the comments down below what you thought of this movie. And so give us your perspective on it. So I would say, you know, just this movie felt kind of long a little bit. Like I said, I had to go pee, but I felt like what they needed. I mean, to be honest, I'm okay with this. I mean, I didn't feel like there was nothing that I like. Every shot, every film, I'm pretty sure they went to the editing room and just like, okay, we're gonna make this movie. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be.
It flowed very well.
It was so well done. Yeah, you didn't feel like there was like edit whatsoever. It just felt like an all natural movie, and it felt so real and so true to its nature, original horror idea of it. And I loved every bit of it. Like I said, I mean, it was really good. It's a really good, well-told story. And I feel like I'm not going to take anything. I mean, I can't take anything out of this. I can't be like, oh, I want to take out this scene because it defeats the purpose of this other scene.
Right. Like I said, it's those little things. Yeah. Those little things. And
exactly.
Every scene that builds up that adds to the grand scheme of things. And I feel like you're right. If you take away any of those scenes, you may lose that message.
You could tell how strong-headed I am about this, because when I talk so fast, that's when I get real intense and really into this movies, guys. All right, so was this the film that we deserved? Oh, hell yes. Like, yeah.
I think any film that makes you question or even like you have to reflect on it after, I think you deserve those types of films.
Yeah. I love those movies because just like, it makes you want to almost, in a sense, to where you could rewatch it again and be like, oh, I missed that symbolic
I feel like
thing.
it could also like open a discussion. So like, even if you're not
many discussions,
right? So even if like you're not familiar with his work, because like for me, I haven't seen Hereditary, I could still want to talk about it with other people who've seen Midsommar, and see what their take is, their perspective, what they thought about this. I think it's a great movies like that are very, very great, you know, in opening that discussion.
And to see the character Danny, you know, her name's Florence, and we actually seen her in what was that movie? Oh, Fighting with My Family. Yeah, which she plays.
That's really good.
Yeah,
she's still really good.
She plays Paige in that, and then to see her go from that to this is just wow. Like that's a huge I mean, that's a great accomplishment by her. I mean, she's really going to stand on this movie. And of course, she stands out in that poster, ladies and gentlemen. I'll put it up on right now. The poster is just intense already. You're just like, what the heck is going on? So now to the ratings. All right, so 1 out of 10, Angela, 10 being the highest. What would you give this movie?
I would give it probably a solid 8.
Dang,
I think an 8's pretty good. I liked it overall. It did drag a little bit, but again, I had to go to the restroom too. Soundtrack was great, shots were great, direction was great, and the actors and actresses, I think they all did a pretty spot on job.
You know, I'm gonna have to get, you know, going into it and just I'm gonna have to go 8.5. It's not gonna be a 9. Maybe if I watch it again, maybe I rewatch it. But right now it's gonna be 8.5. I'm not to say I didn't love it. It's a really good movie. You should check it out at theater near you, ladies and gentlemen. 8.5, and you gave it an 8. Okay. I would definitely recommend this movie, guys. Any horror movies or any Hereditary fans out there, be sure to check this movie at a theater near you. Alamo City Movie Talk does recommend this movie, guys. Be sure to check it out. And for all horror fans, for anyone that loves horror,
like suspense, thriller,
mystery, it's a really good. It hits all those genres. It really does, and it hits it up in a new dialogue, in a new sense, in a new just a new concept of it, a new original art. And I love original horror. I love that so much.
It's definitely a very different take than what we've seen recently in recent horror movies, and I gotta say it's real refreshing.
Yep, it really is, because it's just like there's still original work out there. Alamo City Movie Talk. What we buy this movie, I'm just like, at a sense, I'm just like, well, maybe I'll buy it. Maybe I could probably see myself buying it. Not Hereditary. I don't want to be up all night.
I'm not a personal horror person where I crave to watch horror or scary movies. But, I may be in the mood for it every once in a while. So I would probably buy it.
All right. Okay. All right, Alamo City Movie Talk fans, thank you for making us a part of your day. As always, I'm your host, Ryan D, aka Ryan680.
I'm Angela, that cat lady, and
this is Alamo City Movie Talk, guys. Alamo City Movie Talk / horror session, ladies and gentlemen. We're doing a horror segment. I'm just kidding. We're not doing a horror segment, but all right, guys. But thank you for making us a part of your day. Be sure to put it on the comments down below. What did you think of the movie? Put it down in the comments down below. Give us a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button, guys. And you have yourself a wonderful day, all right? Don't turn off the light. Do not do it. Don't do it. All right.